Hello everyone, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we're going to launch a pretty similar mission to the one that we did in the last episode, with the exception of that this one is going to go do a flyby of the Mun. And was it this one? Yep. Okay, so we'll just use the exact same vehicle. It worked well enough. Let's go ahead and make a couple of tweaks here, though. Let's thrust down like another few percentage points on those because it was a little excessive on the last flight, and get a little bit better efficiency out of them if we're not. I have a chatterer installed now, by the way, too. But this way we'll get a little bit better efficiency out of them, and I believe we're good to go. Alright, so we're just gonna pretty much go straight up until we get to around 8,000 or so. I'll leave this on like a third so we still get the gimbaling from the engine. It's going to be getting to be time to start putting some communication satellites and stuff up, so I'm kind of waiting to see if there's a mission that's going to pop up for that, but there hasn't been so far, so we may have to take matters into our own hands and just go willy-nilly establishing some satellites. Seems like I thought I just saw this wobble a lot. But it's, yeah, we may have to go ahead and just take matters into our own hands a little bit with the whole satellite thing, because I would like to start sending some unmanned probes out and stuff. We don't have a super huge amount of thrust to be sending manned missions everywhere yet, but especially because I'd like to bring a scientist along and all that, at least a two-person crew before we land on anything, but make do with automation. We desperately need real solar panels too. Did those actually not collide into each other? That's amazing. Happens pretty much every time they just collide into each other. So we need a little bit aggressive here because we went up higher than I would have liked before we're doing this turn. I should really rotate this craft in the vehicle assembly building so I don't have to spin every time. Alright, so now we're just trying to pick up some speed down range is the main goal here. Well, we still have all of this fuel. And it seems like it's going much more efficiently than last time. Kind of screwed the pooch with the first launch of this thing, but we'll be getting to the point soon where we'll have mech jeb assisting and all that too, so I like to get to the point where things are automated more, because every launch is, especially once it's a craft you've launched a bunch of times, like I'll probably end up launching these quite a few times. This is really very similar to the one that I used to get the space tourist up too. It gets to be kind of repetitive. Sometimes it's fun when you're launching something and you're not sure if it's gonna make it or not, but not necessary with this thing. We are pretty reasonable. I know it's gonna make orbit. It's just a matter of if it's gonna have the fuel left to see, they still got destroyed. Those parachutes were deployed. I don't know. I'll try to see if there's any updates again in a little bit. Some of it, I'm sure, is just due to the fact that I'm playing the experimental versions of a lot of plugins here, a lot of add-ons, so it's a good chance that's part of the issue. Alright, so now let's just cruise to I don't have the warp assists unlocked yet, do I? Yes, I do. So what? Oh, we actually have. I haven't looked and seen what we have here. So warp to apoapsis, lead time 30 seconds. That's good to have. Save a little bit of time. We could probably do like 15 seconds actually. But while we're actually ascending here, I just wanted to see what we actually ended up with. Attitude adjustment. Because some of this stuff's been updated since I've played. Settings to Translatron. Translatron will be nice to have. Seems like it's missing. I don't know. Maybe it's not missing features. Surface info we already had. Alright. Take me to my periaps. the SAS on and pointed towards that. Good, this will still probably end up falling back to the planet, so we won't be increasing our space junk. Well, maybe not. It's gonna be close. Let's go ahead and cut this loose, even though there's still a little bit of fuel in it, just to save on the space junk. Alright, we're in orbit. It's an ugly orbit, but it's good enough. So, what do we want to do now? We want to get our encounter set up. Let's take a look. Where is our friend the Mun? There it is. Set as target. So we want to be coming around where the moon is just kind of rising. So that's going to put it pretty much on this ascending node, more or less. Let's go ahead and add a maneuver. Burn out this way. It should be around 800 or something to get our encounter. Okay, maybe a little bit further up. There we go. If I walk this forward a little bit more, there we go, because the moon is going to have moved by the time we get out there. So that's a little bit crazy. A little bit not what I want. A little bit crazier. That is not a very good encounter. Okay, so there's... Where is my little maneuver thingy to tell me how much I'm using here? Alright, that is excellent. Unfortunately, we have no way of... Let's do this like... It's saying it's going to take 50 seconds. It's going to take a lot longer than 50... Well, it might not take that much longer than 50 seconds. So let's do a 60-second warp. That way we can get set here. And I should probably check before we do this just what our delta V status is. So we have 1,000 delta V. This is going to take most of our delta V. Not going to be stopping out there. That's fine. Turn the SAS on. Point toward... I can't do that with this. Smart ASS. Node. And because of the shenanigans that occurred last time, I'm going to turn off that, and I think we need to... Yeah, it's going to be a 50-second burn. All right. So we'll try to split our burn up appropriately here. And actually, I should have come on the other side. I just realized I almost made a big mistake. We need to come on the other side of the Mun. Oh, I'm going to have screwed this all up. Because we want to come on the other side so we loop around and do like the figure 8 free return kind of thing. Let's go ahead and delete that. And we will do a new maneuver here. Of course, the Mun will have moved by then another orbit around, but we'll figure it out. So we want to be coming... How do we want to do this? See, I'm having to be really efficient here, and I'm not really all that used to that. Okay, this seems promising. This seems super promising. If we accomplish that burn... I wish we could get a little closer to the Mun. And what do we got here? We got 41 million. That brings us there. What if I do a little bit of this? Or a little bit of this? million still. Darn it. Oh. But I don't like the return trajectory on that. So I think we'll just stick with that. It'll be good enough. Yeah, we'll just stick with that burn. So, 60 seconds to maneuver node. Are we at 60s? Oh, we are practically time to burn. Probably should have gone around another orbit here, but we'll call this good. Kind of blew my burn time there. Because I was thinking about bringing up my Delta V window so I could see what's going on. This is a little scary. We don't have any margin on this, really. Don't really care that much how close we get to it, I suppose. Just that we make it home is the important thing. Yeah, look how screwed up. Okay, so what is happening here? Manually finish up. And good enough. So what are we looking at? Well, we'll have to do a little bit of braking. And I don't know, it's not too terrible. How much Delta V do we have? We have 211. That'll be plenty to do the braking, I think. So let's go ahead and close that down. Let's set sphere of influence transition. And do we want to warp? It's kind of scary. And cool beans will be coming in nice and easy here. I don't like to be at high speed during the actual transition, so. Now I'll just manually control it. Get our science. Now, where is the space center? Is that on the far side of the... It's hard to tell where that actually is. It looks like it should have line of sight. Alright, so let's get... First of all, let's get oriented into the sun. Let's get our... KSC, where are you, KSC? Mission control, activate. Actually, deactivate. We'll wait till we actually have it. Well, no, it's easier to do them one at a time. Do that. Log our data. How much is this worth? 8. It's not great. I like the transmission sounds. That's a nice touch. Bringing that one back. Toggle the bay. Which one is this? This is open the bay doors. Return that. Isn't there a thermometer? Yeah, there's a thermometer in here. Log the temperature. Take that bad boy back. Close the door. And the only thing left after this, I think, is the EVA. And we'll be good to just go home. Alright, so let's close down that because there's tons of crap there. Please don't bump the ship too much. This part always makes me nervous. I'm still all paranoid that everything's going to crash all the time, too. Ugh. And we'll send that bad boy home. Awesome sauce. So at this point, I think we just want to warp to the sphere of influence change pretty much and be ready to head home. Now, it's probably wise to do a maneuver here while we're in the Mun's influence, since it will assist us with our gravity. Okay, we need to accelerate counterintuitively. Bring that down to like 36 or so will be good. That is more than 36. 36, pretty much perfectly. Awesome. Leave that right there. So that's a tiny burn. Awesome. I was a little bit worried about how much delta V we'd have, but let's go ahead and get our maneuver node set, warp to it. Hello, Mun. Oh, that's pretty. I have to imagine that that is a lie, that that's a 1 second burn, but... Hey, a sneeze here. I'm going to have to mute you while I set this maneuver node. Ugh. Okay, so we still have quite a bit of time to go here. That's not going to be 1 second, but it is going to be awfully, awfully short. I wish it would tell me my Kerbal. I guess I could do target. Oh, I just totally spaced my burn, didn't I? In fact, let's see what this has done to my burn here. It probably doesn't matter much. It'll just be slightly off. But before we have an incident that like what happened with the other thing, let's turn that off. And let's actually delete the maneuver so I can just see what's happening here. And again, our target is about 34 to 36k, 32, whatever. That's probably fine. So I think I'm just going to warp. And when we do the sphere of influence change, are our calculations still right? More or less. Excellent. So let's go ahead and warp to that point there. Close down the warp helper and the delta V because we're not going to need that anymore. Alright, cool beans. So, actually I do want the smart ASS. Do surface. I don't know if that surface is accurate. Is that surface accurate? I don't know. Retrograde. Why does that look so insane? I'm having weird graphical issues from time to time with the I don't know. It looks fine now. I guess it was the... I don't know. The lighting stuff gets funky. Alright, we're pretty close now. So let's go ahead and stage. And go in for the... this one should be a lot more... Well, we're going 3,000 still. I was going to say it should be a little bit more tame than the Minimus one, but I'm not so sure. Things already starting to glow a little bit. Yeah, we're pretty high up in the... I don't know if the speed probably corresponds to the where those effects start, because it seems like that's higher than it usually is. So this should give us plenty of science to unlock a couple more things. One or two. I think we're only a couple science short of unlocking another thing, so maybe we'll... Does it tell me here? Yeah, we have 133. So we should... Oh, that's because I added some. I was going to say, I thought we're just short of 90, but It's because we added some. So we should be able to unlock a couple more tech tree nodes, which will be good because we're kind of getting stuck a little bit on what we can do just with the technology that we actually have at hand. I'm hoping that we can get enough parts together, like I said, to get... So I really want some sort of retractable solar panels, but those I think are still the next tier up. I have to upgrade the stupid thing, the research center, before I can get to that tier. We'll look into that when we get down there, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to happen. That bar just makes me so concerned, but oh, there it goes. It's gone. Seems to be a fact of life. So none of our parts survived, did they? What do we got here? Explore the Mun. Yada yada yada. Awesome. And so this debris, what happened with it? Propulsive landing. It should have had... I don't know why those parachutes aren't working anymore. It's costing me a lot of money. We're still making money, but it's costing me enough that it's kind of annoying me, because we were at a point where we were making pretty much almost probably 60%, 70% of the craft cost back every time we were launching, which made things a lot more economical. Now every stage except for the final stage is getting destroyed, so I had to look at... I think it's got to be some setting with the reel shoots or something that's messed up, because it worked when I was playing in the stable release version, but when they released version 1, I was like, yeah, this is it. The mods will just like kind of keep working because they're not going to make any more changes. But I'm actually not entirely sure what the difference between, for them, what the difference between a release and a like an alpha and a beta release are and stuff. I know what they are technically, but it seems like the beta was... This is still sort of like beta stuff. Well, even now alpha stuff, they're adding features still, so I don't know. I'm not going to complain. I don't know how long they're going to keep updating the game for, but 64-bit has been a dream come true. I've not had it crash on me once yet. I'm sure it will, but not doing memory problems. So I am beyond happy about that. So when we hit about 250, we'll pop the chutes and then warp down to the surface here. She is just thrilled. And I don't want a time warp right now. So peaceful. Alright. Now we'll get down. I like having the chatterer. I was looking at my old videos trying to figure out which mods I had installed back in the day, and this was one that I kind of forgot existed, and I was listening. I was like, oh man, there's little guys talking. Adds a lot more personality in my opinion, especially I like all the little transmission sounds and stuff. Makes it sound all science fiction-y. So hopefully we'll look. I should have stopped time warping a little sooner there, but it didn't cost me anything. Hopefully we'll be able to unlock at least one tech node, maybe more. Alright, so how much science? We got 148, we have 283 in all. Bunch of money. Cool. So, what does the added thing? Research limit, okay. So we're at research limit 100 right now, which pretty much we've reached. So let's go ahead and buy that upgrade so we can kind of see what's further down the line here. Foldable solar panels. 160. Boom. We need those. What do we got down here? We got container stuff. We don't really need that because we're not doing colonization yet. More water stuff. We don't really need that. Adapters and stuff. More station parts. Well, that barometer would be kind of nice to have. Different parachutes. I guess we'll go for the engines. Man, we're going to get some big-ass solid rocket boosters. Do that. And we'll call that good. Alright, so I think that's pretty much going to be it. This is going to be a little bit shorter of an episode today. Just get that out of the way. I might edit it down just a little bit. Cut out some of the spots where we're just traveling and stuff. When we come back, I'm going to work on designing some comm satellites. Because, well, let's check our missions before we end it, actually. Explore Duna. That's not going to be happening anytime soon. Well, that one never expires, right? Yeah. We're not going to be planting a flag on... I don't want to, like, take up all my slots with stuff that doesn't make me money. I'm going to be ferrying more people around, so... Although these people all want to go to the frigging Mun and Minmus and stuff now. No, this one only wants to do that. But whatever, I do these a lot when I'm not recording just to earn some money. So, I'm not going to take on any new mission. We call that good for today. When we come back, we'll work on getting some basic communications set up here so we can start sending some unmanned probes out. Thanks for watching.